don't require on-chain changes. Community has much more freedom and flexibility to experiment and implement such projects, and you don't necessarily need to get significant approval from the host before implementing any of them. But even though that's the case, I think it's super important for us to have a platform to discuss such projects. External ecosystem directly affects networks' visibility and reputation, and this is important for any decentralized network. But I believe that for Gonka, it is even more important, as we're aiming to make real world value by doing productive work, and in particular serving inference for real world users who don't necessarily want to interact with the chain directly. So to enable very different users to use the network, it's more important for Gonka than for any traditional blockchain to have this functional, convenient ecosystem to make the network accessible and easy to use. Now, that's why a platform to discuss such proposals and to gather feedback from the community for them is as important as ever. Now, a quick note about these projects as well is that if community shows a strong support for any of such projects, they can also be rewarded under the bounty program through our usual process of proposing bounties for the on-chain world. Now, on this note, I'm happy to pass the stage to the first presenter of today, the Gonka Labs team.
Hello, guys. It's very nice to be here right now. It's a great honor for us. And as a, a representative of the Gonka Labs, I'd like to also mention that there is a team as well over here. It's the second guy inside the Gonka Labs. And on the topic of the team itself, a team, as I mean like a collective of people that are behind the Gonka Labs. We're going to be discussing a little bit later, closer to the end of the presentation and our time at this particular AMA session. So about the Gonka Labs is the current topic that we are going to be showing in a couple of slides. Again, my name is Mike, and my co-host over here is Tim as well, and he will maybe interrupt me and speak over me if something he wants to say as well. So let's dive right into it. The first thing that we are going to touch right now is like our core mission, goal, and principles that are laying behind the Gonka Labs. So basically, our core idea behind all like the products, all the services that we try to build as a Gonka Labs collective is a core mission to help both new users, experienced users, or like complete newcomers, miners, developers gain a bunch of convenient services for interacting with the platform, thereby simplifying their lives. So in a nutshell, we are trying to accomplish, like the same things that are accomplished by different collectives that were like the first comers into different blockchains that we kind of already know. For example, every successful blockchain, as you may know, has its own anchor developer. And by anchor developer, I mean, teams and collectives that are building different infrastructure services. For example, for the Ethereum, we have Nethermind. For the Bitcoin, we have Blockstream, etc., etc. So this team eventually is responsible for developing, the first products like wallets, explorers, different analytics dashboards, different developer services, etc., etc. So we kind of see ourselves in precisely this role, and we might be thinking about us as the first developers of, Gonka foundational services. This is our, overall vision for the things that we are trying to accomplish with our moves and services and things that we're building. So this idea eventually requires rapid response, rapid product improvements. It requires us to communicate with the community, always listen to feedback, iterate fast, ship fast, and listen. So those are our core 3 principles. By doing this process of rapid iterations on the different things that we're building, We are not going to be, growing into a big bloated company, etc., etc. We're going to be always the lean team of a couple of people that are trying to build, real products and always listen to the users' feedback. This is the overall concept of what Gonka Labs is. I'd like to briefly go into each of the products that we already have as a Gonka Labs. And we cannot start this conversation without mentioning the Explorer. This was like the first product that we launched. We launched it, I believe, like 3 or something months ago. And this is our core product. It has the main traction. It has the main amount of people interacting with it. And with this particular product is like was the entry point for us as the developers, as the collective, to start building different infrastructural services for the Gonka blockchain. So eventually, currently we have a lot of different microservices running inside the Gonka GG Explorer, and you can pretty much see all of them laid out on this kind of neat presentation over here. We are not going to be stopping on different subsequential parts of the Explorer because we have the faucet, we have node tracker, we have the slashing events, kind of sub dashboard inside this Explorer. But one particular thing that I'm going to mention right here is that when we were developing the product, we started seeing a very big demand on sharing the data that we actually accumulate inside our infrastructure that was underlying the Gonka GG Explorer. And from this particular service arose a whole plethora of different APIs and sub-services that kind of meshed into the data provider platform that we're going to be touching a little bit later. But for now, this is the overall kind of expression that the user can get when visiting the Gonka GG. So we track a lot of things. We have more than 20 different microservices running inside the Explorer, and they're constantly accumulating data and bringing it all into the convenient UI for everyday use and for people to kind of get a glimpse of how the network is looking right now. Basically, when I was talking about the Gonka GG, I briefly mentioned that this is our lead product, and here are the key metrics that you can see. So, as I said, we are trying to listen for almost every community request, and we built a couple of pages, especially because we had different community requests to build those pages. And this metric is neatly calculated by accumulating all the requests that we received by our Telegram channel and by DMs, etc., etc. So currently we have 187 community requests that were processed and implemented inside the UI or different features. So this is the constant back and forth between us and people that are seeing the Explorer as a common ground for development and common ground for laying out different metrics in the most convenient way. I cannot, not mention the key metric of monthly users because currently we see the surge after running some different activities that we had in the previous couple of days that we're going to be mentioning a little bit later in the presentation. Currently, we have 8.5K monthly users. Rolling rate is about 80%, and 1.5 thousand users are visiting the dashboard daily, and eventually generating a pretty, significant load for this small amount of people. It's something between 1.5 and 2 million API requests per day. This is across all the different API endpoints, including those that are used by the front end itself. So we have a pretty neat engagement, as I can, as I can see based on the experience from other products. We have something between 7 to 8 pages per session, and the average session is about 5 to 10 minutes. So it's a pretty engaging experience for people when they are interacting with Explorer. From the historical database standpoint, you can see all the metrics over here. We have more than 1 billion events from more than 2,270 million transactions. So events are, the events inside the transactions. And this 1+ billion events might be a little bit underestimating because we have not yet indexed most of them. They are in the database, but they are not, being aggregated for getting this particular metric, and there might be something like 1.5, etc. Another product that we have when I was talking about the lead products, so the Gonka GG is basically the main product. From there arose the need when we were discussing with the community about how to eventually access the inference itself. So from this ground, we started building, first of all, OpenGNK. This is the Docker-based local proxy for Gonka. It eventually supports even the such functionalities, masking different, security-related things inside requests. So, for example, if a person tries to make an API call to the Gonka with the API key, for example, in the prompt, there is an option in the .env to eventually strip it off, and there are a couple of perimeters of protection in order to achieve it. It's all in open source, and it can do all this stuff on the fly, so it's a pretty fast service. It is already used. We have more than 400 local installs according to the GitHub. It is completely open source, charge-free. Everyone can modify it, etc., etc. So when we were building it, we eventually reported the library for signing the transactions, and everyone can see it in the code. It's completely written in Go, and it eventually can also work with rotating the wallets for user. So user can eventually, show 5 to 10 different wallets with Gonka tokens in them and make inference requests, directly with one API endpoint, and service will rotate all of them on the backend. This is the OpenGNK. So this is the open source way to access the Gonka inference. Why we were building it? Because we were seeing that community had different issues when trying to access the inference. And from there arose the need to build something which is only, one-click install. So you just run one Docker command, insert the wallet address and the private key, hit run, and you can connect almost every OpenAI compatible service, which can potentially work with the inference. From there, we built the Gonka GG proxy. This is like the same OpenGNK, but hosted. So we just host the same service. We laid out, pretty much the same, but with some slight modifications in order for it to be like a service, like a full service UI modifications. And this is, for now, the Gonka GG proxy. So it is free at now. We are, topping up accounts for people when they are requesting it. So if someone wants to try it, they just write me, for example, in Telegram or write in the chat, and we just supply them some amount of tokens for testing, currently without any payments, and processing different requests from users. And as we can see in the analytics already, we see the OpenClaw requests, and it is supported. We can see different chatbots, different internal tools, and it is all working and processing roughly about 1 billion tokens at the moment. So this is the cumulative amount of tokens processed with this particular service. And as well, it has 2,000 approximately users, visitors, not users, monthly. From there, we started to shift more towards, building the overall experience for the users. And we saw a need for a wallet. Why we saw a need for a wallet? Because people were struggling with, setting up different wallets that are not native. For example, for the Gonka, they needed to, select different coin types. They needed to select different blockchains. There were starting to arise different instructions for people to do it, and it was, like not very convenient for people. So we tried to mitigate this particular issue and created the open source wallet, which is already integrated into the Hex exchange, which is built on top of the hot protocol. So what it is, it's a Chrome extension. So anyone can go to the Chrome store, find the GG wallet, install it, and use it. Or anyone can go into the GitHub, download it from the releases, or build the wallet themselves. They are free to modify it. And we are currently in the means of developing a bunch of other tools. And one of the tools that are we developing is the mobile app. So we are going to be building the version of the wallet, which is going to be working on the smartphones. Because when we releasing the GG wallet, we saw that some people started to use some, Chromium-based browsers on the Android and installing the extension there. So we understood that we also need like the wallet, which is native for the operating systems, for the mobile operating systems. In a nutshell, GG Wallet is the Chrome extension in itself. It has all the same security things that are relevant, for example, for Kepler. We are using almost the same allowances for the wallet, for example, HTTPS only websites, all HTTPS only websites, etc., etc. So in the context of dApps, everything is supported. In the context of encrypting the storage, anyone can go to the GitHub and see how it is all done. But we are kind of using the same approaches. So we are encrypting the storage. We are not storing the mnemonics. We require users to set up the password from which we generate the cryptographically secure phrase by which we then, and this phrase we then take and apply to the mnemonic and then encrypt it. So there is a whole process that undergoes, that data undergoes in order for the wallet to be, more like protected. Of course, this wallet was not even been audited by big auditors, but life is long and everything can happen, and maybe one day this wallet will be eventually audited as well. But for now, we have pretty much a lot of users that are using the wallet. It supports GNS and different other features that are not going to be a part of this talk right now. So we have a lot of things there.
Yeah, Mike, I hate to interrupt, but being mindful of all other participants, let's try to fit the remainder of your presentation in 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
So that we have some time for community to ask questions if there are any. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry. So briefly, Gonka name service. This is the smart contract plus UI for people to rent indefinitely the names. So currently we're in development of the market. So it's going to be released soon. It is stated 1,800 names currently booked, but it is more than 2,000 already. So it is a pretty familiar service for the community. I'm not going to be stopping at it right now. Contract Playground is our new thing. We released it a couple of days ago. It allows you to run, develop, and test WebAssembly contracts, Cosmos WebAssembly contracts in the web without installing the Rust, compilers, etc., etc. So you can compile everything in the web, then deploy from the web, and even test without even interacting with the mainnet or testnet directly in browser. So you can call different methods, you can use different mock accounts, etc., etc. Everything in the web. Then currently we are developing the Feather RPC provider and light node. So this is basically going to be a very fast in terms of RPC methods node, which is going to be light. It is currently working, so everyone can see it in the blockchain already. And we're going to be releasing 2 different versions. One is open source, and the second one will be a service, which will allow different developers and potential businesses to interact with RPC without creating additional load on the node 1, node 2, etc. So the Genesis nodes. This is our data platform. This is where we are going to be in a couple of weeks or months. So we're going to be aggregate all the APIs that we have inside the single unified data platform. Not very important for now. So we're focusing solely on the open source services for the convenience of the community. So you can see them over here. Where we are heading, you can see. So we are developing different B2C services and more to come, developer tools. We are aiming to grow the ecosystem and accomplish the Gonka wide adoption. This is us. This is team. This is me, Mike. Also, we have the third participant. This is the Artem. We have a lot of experience in Web3 and AI products. Thank you all very much for your attention. I'm so sorry for being this long.
Huge thanks for the presentation. We do have a couple minutes if anybody present on the call has questions. Feel free to post them in the chat or raise your hand and just ask them. We do have one question regarding Gonka names in the chat. Mike, would you like me to read it? Would you just translate it?
Oh, I'll read it. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
So the Gonka names GNS service has caused quite some interest in the community. However, this is not a core team smart contract that would be encouraged to be included in all services as a foundational piece. The marketing around this service is very shady. Why haven't you put in disclaimers on your website that this service will work only if enthusiasts community will support it? There is already an open market for name trading at ridiculously elevated prices, and it opens the risks of putting a black mark on the whole Gonka ecosystem. Yeah, so to answer this question, we actually have the disclaimers. So in all the releases that we had in the Telegram and in Discord, we especially wrote that the smart contract is not, a part of the Gonka ecosystem. This was not developed by the Gonka core team. This is solely a community developed thing. We will be more than grateful if this one day might be the widely adopted feature, and we will work with different wallets and every developer that potentially might want to integrate the Gonka naming service into their applications. But to answer the second part, which is about the shady moves around the Gonka naming service, we are not in any way affiliated with the secondary market. This is the first thing. The official secondary market will be released later. This is the very important thing. This cannot be right away done. So this is the topic for later. And about the shadiness of the names, for example, if they are looking like wallet addresses or using the names of the founders, etc., etc. Yes, we are currently aware of the situation, and we are working on developing the solution, the special one, to mark those names, so people will be able to clearly see that a particular name can be shady or something like this. So yeah, we are aware of the situation. This is the short answer over here.
Yeah, I also have a question. Why didn't you follow quite well-known approaches of running such products? I mean, domain should be expired, and the domain should be sold with auction, not by direct purchases. And I see that first launch has quite big hype, but from first dates, GNS service suffer from domain squatting, and now you can see users who purchased quite big amounts of popular domains and now just reselling them, and some even other projects who have their own quite well-known names can't buy it because it has been spotted? Yeah, that's the question.
Yeah, thank you very much for the question. So the answer over here is that when we were launching the Gonka naming service, at first we wanted to make it completely free, and we started, the pre-sale process when we were reaching out to different people and allowing them to see and kind of interact with the system. We started, noticing that some of them started to run scripts and try to, as you just said, domain squat. So to mitigate this issue, we implemented the ability to get the payments. So we set the price of 1 Gonka per name. This was too low, so people started to domain squat even more when we released it. Then we raised the price to 2.5. And to answer the second part of your question, so yeah, we tried to stop it. To answer the second part of your question about the auction, we thought about this, but we thought that this might be not fair because when it is the auction, there shall be a seller that will get the revenue or the prices. The core idea behind the Gonka Labs never was to start earning the money immediately or something like this. So we kind of invest our own money, we build the products by our own money, we pay for the service. And for us, this all looked like a potential, misinterpretation of our demeanors and our development plans for the future. So the auction for us was the thing when we were seeing the potential market arising from this, the need for the reselling right away. But we opted to first of all start selling some names. Then we implemented inside the smart contract the ability to trade names or to transfer names. So anyone can set a price and then negotiate based on the mutual agreement and then transfer the name on the basis of payment. So, and as a second iteration of the development, we eventually wanted to start running the market and allowing people to resell. But when we were starting to analyze the activity, we saw that a lot of people were starting to domain squat. This eventually led us to the conclusion that we need to temporarily hold the need or the development of the market, pause it, see what is going on, and then adopt the potential market that will be delivered in order for it to be fair. So the auction right away will be not fair. It is like lying to the community about our needs. The payments were low and we saw the domain squat, and here is what we have right now. So it will be solved in steps. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for the answer. I think if there are any more questions in this direction or regarding any other Gonka Labs projects that were presented here, we can also continue the discussion in Discord and other channels. So let's keep that channel of communication with the team open. Thanks for all the questions. And I think now is a good time to pass to, well, quite smoothly pass to our next presenter, INC4.
Thank you very much, Anastasia. Hello, everyone. First of all, Mike, thank you very much for such presentation. And you're great in what are you doing. And I wish you to stay in the loop and keep progressing. So after the information that you're open sourcing your stuff, I even have some motivation to participate in this. So thanks again. Then I will try to share my screen. So first of all, can you see me well and can you hear me well?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I'm not really familiar with Zoom functionality, so we'll try to keep it like this. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Amazing. So hello everyone, my name is Serhiy. I'm representing an Inc4 team. in more details about us, you can check on info.net. So actually, we are in blockchain projects let's say from 2013, and we developed such products like an Pembroke, which is leveraged DeFi on near blockchain. We developed Mineral. It's a multi-coin mining pool, which in the best times had 10 terahash of hash rate. We built OFP, Open Reforestation Protocol, and many other blockchain-related projects was done in these 13 years. Okay, so a little bit of context how we get into Gonka. So last December, we saw the interviews with co-founders, and actually it led to the fact that we realized that Gonka have almost unlimited potential, and it's a great product in the proper time, and in which to do not to contribute and do not to participate would be just criminal stuff. So we decided to provision our validators on mainnet, and in process we realized that no, it's kind of not so easy to step into this. And for example, I personally, when set it up my first node, I spent, I'm not sure, around 2 hours because my Fabric Manager package was missing and multi-GPU does not work well. So it turns out that we decided to develop an open source project which called Gonka Nob, where Nob is not onboarding package, but we are about to rename it because it's not only onboarding package. For now, it become more like node management toolkit. Yeah, so expect some kind of renaming. I would say that baseline for my introduction would be this amazing place in GitHub. So there is an Gonka AI and Gonka repository, and there is a discussions field where I highly suggest to participate by the listeners of this session and everyone who would see this on recordings. So even if you if you're not a direct developer, you still can participate in the project and improve the project by expressing your vision on the proposals which are here. And our first proposal was actually this one. Automatic node provisioning tool exists. Actually, not a direct proposal, but more like announcement that, hey guys, there is a tool which you can utilize in order to provision your node. Again, why did we exactly decided to implement this project? I think I wrote in proposal explicitly what the reasons behind this, but let me just explain it on high level. Yeah, so deploying a Gonka Nob today requires executing 50+ manual steps across GPU drivers, Docker configuration, key management, compose file editing, port security, and on-chain registration. Analysis of almost 10,000 messages from Gonka Validator DevOps chat reveals to the fact that actually operators are required to execute many things and keep a lot of contexts inside their heads in order to run and maintain the node. I would not deep into the exact technical details here. Instead, I just propose to take a look together on the recorded demo which I put it to YouTube. And in this demo, there is an time codes. There is a time codes which you can by which you can follow the exact steps. But let's take a look on this together. Some recommendations was shown in YouTube. What a shame. Okay, so first of all, what do I have? I have two connections in terminal, one in remote server, and the second one is my local host. So what I'm doing first of all, I'm checking that I'm executing the command NVIDIA SMI in order to prove that no drivers and nothing related to GPUs was installed actually on the host. So the dedicated instance itself provisioned, it's in place, but drivers are not installed and NVIDIA SMI command is not available. So then I'm checking that Docker PS, so Docker is not installed as well as a dependency. Here I'm checking the disk space. And so what I did, I downloaded the binary release from the repository artifacts and then just unpack them to have an executable file. Then I provide to this executable file access to write, that I can execute it. And the command which I'm making here is just Gonka Labs setup. And the first thing which we see here is that this software detecting that Docker as a direct dependency is not installed on the host. And it's proposed to install it in interactive mode. So the idea, and there is some time. So one point here that time of this demo. So this demo is not cut at except one point, which I will explicitly say, and it's even not a bug but a feature. And I just did a small mistake in recording. But generally, so from the beginning to the final, it took 22 minutes, including model download, and the process more or less looks like next, done. So after installation of the Docker, NOP triggers that NVIDIA driver is not installed and NVIDIA SMI command is not available. So it is well proposed to install the drivers. We agree with this, and installation is going on. It took some time. There is a spinner right after this scheme, so it's visible that it's not stuck. Okay, so since drivers are installed, we need to make sure that our containers are able to schedule GPUs for them. And there is a hard dependency named NVIDIA Container Toolkit that we also checking for install. Does it install on host? If no, propose to the user to install. I'm also telling yes. And the installation is happening. Okay. And since the installation of NVIDIA Container Toolkit done, yeah, the next step which the software does is pulling the NVIDIA Docker image, which have allocated GPU, and it's execute NVIDIA SMI in this Docker container and make sure that GPUs are really available. Okay, CUDA available inside the Docker. And one more thing. So I'm not sure how to hide this line. Yeah, but the next step that it's asking is to install NVIDIA Fabric Manager, which I mentioned earlier, that is dependencies for having multiple GPUs. In case if you have multiple GPUs, this is dependency. And NVIDIA Fabric Manager as well has been installed. Okay. So since all of this done, NOP explicitly tell us that following GPUs are detected. Your general amount of RAM is following. Here is the recommended configuration for the ML node. And it also asks about the network selection. So either mainnet, either testnet. Today in the chat, I saw some discussions related to testnet, and it's an interesting topic. But first of all, I would like to bring you an understanding that provisioning of node itself become a little bit easier. And maybe with this knowledge, the people would have more courage to provision testnet nodes.
Sorry, another very gentle timing reminder. I remember you have more than one proposal to present. So
how much time do I have right
now? 10 minutes.
Yeah, let's accelerate it again and summarize more.
Okay. So after choosing the network mainnet as your testnet, you're able to choose your key management workflow. There is two options: either quick setup, where NOP will generate the keys for you and print to STD out your mnemonic phrase, which is not secure and it's explicitly set here, or you have an option to make secure setup, where you creating your keys on dedicated offline machine and then just putting account key name. Yeah, just putting an account key. Okay, so this phase on my local PC, I'm downloading the inference software to generate the key pairs, and I'm executing it, and I'm creating this key pairs. And here is the exact. Okay, I'm taking the pub key, and here we exactly can see the point when my SSH connection has been dropped. So I'm reconnecting to the machine. And when I'm executing next time Gonka NOP setup, it checks that what steps were already completed and just continue from the one where we interrupted. So I'm putting here the account public key, writing the keyring password. And since this place, we also need to input our public IP. It also asks about port configuration. Either your servers are behind the NAT, either not. So you just strictly say that P2P is 5,000 and API is 8,000, and then the path to model directory. So path to the folder where the model will be downloaded. Then we're pulling an image, starting the containers, and in parallel we are downloading the model. And model downloading in this case took around 7 minutes. And then since it's done, it explicitly says that, okay, we done all steps, but here then we are executing Gonka NOP status, which tells us that 6 of 9 checks passed. So we are missing something. what exactly we are missing? It tells missing 27 of 27 required permissions. So we need to submit new participant and grant MLOps permission in order to pass all the phases, and we are doing it from localhost. And in the end, it turns out that I'm executing Gonka NOP status and enter. Just a second. It passes 10 from 11 checks. Yeah, because participant is not active in current epoch, but we are already registered for the next epoch. And since the next epoch has happened, health become green, and we are not just ready to validate, but actually validating. And yeah, so this is a general point with Gonka NOP.
Yeah, I want to some thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have built, we have experience in building infrastructure for Bitcoin, Filecoin mining, Ethereum mining, and when we first look at Gonka, we thought what tools Gonka lack and what tools make our lives easier. And we have built it and tested it on quite short list of hardware, and testers also were experienced guys, so they know what to expect, what to answer to each question. And now we want to introduce our software and ask more real users, maybe with less experience, to try it and to say what their real experience, their problems, what they look at the software, how we can make it more understandable for them, because not only for experienced users, because at the end of this, we see it like software from one side for unexperienced users as interactive software to run validator, and from other side for experienced users, it will have options to run it with command line options and run it as a deployment scripts. In any, I think any data center now have a provisioning option to automatically run something. So yeah, we're here to introduce it and to attract users to try it and give more feedback, and maybe other features you can ask, we can implement it. Yeah.
That's true. Thank you, Alexey. And yeah, I also would like to mention that, no, unfortunately, even due the fact of existence of this stuff, and we many times mentioned this in different chats, but for now does not seem that at least anyone have tried this, and we would like to fix this. Guys, please help in participating. So the best compliment for us would be issues in this Gonka NOP. Yeah, I understand that it sounds controversial, but in case if here would be live and the real people would try this out, then you would make the general Gonka not provisioning better. And the second topic which we wanted to mention is another proposal done by Infor team, where we are proposing an optional centralized monitoring for Gonka validators. So what does it mean? For example, I'm a newcomer from the community, and I'm the interview with co-founders, and I'm like say, okay, cool, I'm buying the servers, I would like to mine this stuff because I would like to support the protocol and the project, and I would like to be a part of this project. Okay, in the sunshine scenario, someone took the Gonka NOP software and deployed his own node, and okay, he have options to operate and validate, but it could be maybe also a little bit difficult for the newcomers to build comprehensive monitoring with Prometheus, Grafana, etc. So what are we actually proposing? Like, what if we, inside the community, would decide to host this centralized monitoring? Yeah, so we arrange the server. On this server, we deploy an Prometheus and Grafana, and we are opening a push gateway where the validators will push the metrics to the centralized server. And on the rough example, it looks like this. So yeah, right now I connected two mainnet nodes. And for example, I can see the node status, I can see the block lock, POC weight, current block height, the GPU utilization. So this spikes means inference happened, and the GPU device count, and network participant wents. And also, while we built this, we reused the Prometheus exporter done by VaultCon. So kudos to VaultCon. Thank you very much. And yeah, I start your repository. Highly suggest to do this as well. So yeah, here in this discussion, there is in details explained what and how we can achieve. Our motivation is to operators deploy a lightweight exporter alongside their node. The metrics are pushed to a centralized monitoring server, not pooled. A shared Grafana dashboard provides a real-time fleet visibility with alerting, and everything in opt-in. Operators choose whether to participate. Like you can either install the Prometheus exporter and push your metrics to a centralized server, either not. Yeah, and in order to make this also available and easy to perform, there is an Ansible code and playbooks. Oh yeah, here in comments. Yeah, so the Ansible playbooks, which in the execution of the single button, the provision centralized monitoring. So whenever we will decide, okay, I would take on my shoulder the responsibility to own the centralized server, could easily deploy the centralized monitoring server, but no, in the minimal setup. So this code is not matured and not, I mean, this code is mature, but not optimized for high load with retention, etc. And yeah, from the other side, for client side, we also prepared an Ansible scripts, which able, like, you need to took inventory, you need to pass your IP address, execute one command, and that's it. Your exporter is set it up. So yeah, I think that's from my side.
Yeah. So this proposal, we also want more real feedbacks from real users, because from one side, setting this monitoring will help core team be more informed about real situations with validators in network, while network is just growing up and not so big amount of validators currently have. And from other side, the individual hosts and node operators can share their metrics and observe their statistics of their nodes on some central server. So they don't need to set up their own monitoring system. Is from their side, they need only share their metrics. I understand that the big pools and the guys who already manage few nodes and such stuff, I think they have their own monitoring, but also if they can share information to central server, I think it will be useful both for Gonka team and for other participants to just compare something and such stuff. So yeah, both of our proposals, we want to motivate people, answer, analyze, maybe join discussions. Let's say, yeah, that's it.
The best outcome of this would be in the following discussion, where the NOP proposal or announcement placed. You can say, hey, I tried this out. Your soft is piece of flowers because it does not work here or does not work here. Honestly, I do not expect that it would be the case. But if it would be, we anyway will say thank you, because it means the real usage and real participation. Yeah, but generally the workflows were tested on the testnet and the mainnet. And there is a question from Andrei. Could you clarify, since there is a talk now about optimization, what weights would 8H100 get if deployed using your software? I cannot honestly answer to your question because unfortunately I did not try it since I tested this on 8XA100 GPUs. So I cannot say exactly what weight. Okay, I see another question. Miners often run into issues. They post into Discord and attach their logs. Very rarely do they get a response there. Maybe you could help by answering their question and then gently suggesting they try your service. Could I ask you to be a bit more active in the community? So it is a nice question. And no, we tried this out at least a few times, but no, after actually providing the help, the people does not starting to let's imagine the situation that I'm already have running my net node, and I get into some troubles, and I would like to fix them. And what I will do in this case, okay, I will ask in the chat and maybe get some help. And since I got this help already, I'm done. I'm still validating. My node is running. So I'm not sure exactly how does it should look like and how to encourage people to use. So your hypothesis sounds like help people and they maybe would try your soft. We tried this out, it does not really work. So maybe we would try more and it will, but let's see.
Yeah, definitely food for thought and something to test. We should be wrapping up and move into the next presenter. I see the raised hand. If you want to add something, like I can give you 1 minute. And then we'll need to pass.
Yeah, about last question. We already introduced our software in Telegram. We missed Discord. Yes, our fault. And the real life shows that a lot of likes, a lot of discussions in Telegram, but almost zero real feedback of running software. And we understand that just to run this software on a server which costs few thousands of dollars, it's a very rare option for real users. And we have another proposal, but not for today's session, maybe for next week or next session, about possible solution for tracked back low-grade GPUs and make it possible for a lot amount of users to try Gonka and to try our software as an option. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and we'll definitely share after the session links to all the proposals that were mentioned here. So if you have any more feedback, if you try it out and want to share that, please use those channels and comments on the GitHub to share that. On this note, I'd like to pass the stage to the next presenter for today, which is the Saccade team. Yeah, over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. I didn't expect. So my name is Jack, and now I'm gonna share with you the link for the workplace or the workspace we have prepared. And just a second, I'm gonna share my desktop. Yeah, well, some of you knows me, some of you doesn't. So my name is Jack, and I'm a chief of storytelling in Saccade, and that's what we've been preparing for 3 months already. So this is bilingual. So if you want, you can check it in Russian. If you want, you can check it in English. And I'm gonna briefly give you a walkthrough the stuff we've prepared. So this is our gift for Gonka, and if you didn't see it before, so please check it. Here we explain who we are in a 15 minutes format, and this is our vision explained and our offer. So you can take a look After it will take 45 minutes, or you can speed it up. And now I'm going to briefly explain the same stuff in 10 minutes, I think. So first of all, what is our experience? We have a proven track record in disruptive markets through innovative marketing, and I'm going to show you later on what I mean. We've got a top-tier production studio, and some of you already seen what we've done for Gonka. And we've got a couple of YouTube creators with more than 1 million active subscribers, and we have experience in global PR for IT companies. So we are kind of a community-driven team, and we are a team of high-performance entrepreneurs. This is Vasily Hrebnikov, and he's here with us today. He is the co-founder of Cybermotorica. This is a company which disrupted prosthetics market, and they shipped their products to 17 countries, so we can enjoy the product. But there is something beyond the innovative product they have. This is me, and together with my friends, we have created one of the most featured design studios on Behance. And as you can see, we've got 2.3 million views, which is, I believe, the biggest number for design studios originally from Russia. And you can check out our portfolio if you want by yourself. But what I personally love most is our social impact project. This is a plastic, and I love how we done it. We just went to the lake and found all this plastic and made this long before neural networks existed. So this is Ash. Ash is a co-founder of Omni, one of the most recognized production studios in United Arab Emirates and Russia. And he is a director over 20 years, and he has a portfolio on Behance also. And he has become the first ambassador of Higgsfield AI, which is the most well-known AI studio for the moment for AI creators. And recently, he took a third place in the Higgsfield context. And you can take a look at the short movie at Saccade.media. So, and we've got, as I said before, a couple of guys with more than 1 million subscribers. So this is my gap with 1.7 millions with more than 180 million views. So he's been doing it for 10 years already, and his audience is pretty active. So you can see the number of views are high, and the engagement rate is high as well. So we have compared to other channels which is well known, and it still remains very good. So you can check it by yourself if you want. And this is Vlad. He's today with us as well at the call. He's got more than 1.3 million subscribers and more than 130 million views. So, and he's been doing it for 11 years. His audience is pretty active as well, and his engagement rate is good as well. And also, we've got Julia, who is the founder of PR agency, and most projects are under NDA, but she has unicorns in her list of clients. So, and we are united by the mission. We decode genius for humanity's better future, and I think you know that many genius people express themselves in a very complex way, and we help them to be understood by the audience, by the broad audience, and that's why we are here in Gonka. And of course, we are united by common values. So So what we are good at? We are good at strategic creative partnership, and we are oriented on long term. We can handle easily day-to-day creative operations, and this is research and screenwriting. And we are passionate about the production and art direction, of course. I think you can feel it. So this is our vision on Gonka. I'm gonna briefly go through. So we think that the main idea is to unite people around the key idea of equality by providing everyone access to AI. So our audience are those people who use AI on the daily basis, and we use diffusion of innovation to to emphasize what kind of audience we need in 2026. So it's not the mainstream, we believe, but because it's too early for them. And it's, if you want, you can just check what we mean by mainstream after, or you can by yourself do it using the link I sent in the chat. But now we believe we should focus in 2026, I emphasize it, on AI enthusiasts and crypto natives. So we found that their key user cases are to create something, to make decisions, to build products, and to research. And we can use it later on in our topics of content. Our content strategy is pretty easy. We think that the most important at this particular moment is quality, and the collaboration is a key to distribution. So if we provide with a good quality of content, the collaborations will be easy to achieve. And as I said before, focus on AI early adopters is a must at this particular level. So stage, sorry. So, and we see the process divided into two main streams. The first one is the useful content connected to AI usage. So this is like we create a bunch of internal experts and influencers, and we support our audience with the key topics like how I make decisions with AI, how boost my productivity with AI. So it's something like personal point of view. And the second stream, which I believe is more important in this particular stage, is a useful content connected to Gonka AI. So the process looks like this. We form a GiP Gonka AI data lake. As you can see, you probably recognize those guys. And we collect all existing materials. We actually already collected it. We create our own materials by taking Zoom calls and the questionnaires, and we collect references, how the future content gonna look like. Then we go to the creative part of the process, and then we split all companies, our communities, narratives into 6 layers. The first one is more about the values and the story of key founders, then the expertise of key founders, then the story and values of a broader community, the culture of a community, and then we go to the expertise of the community. So as you can see, there's a bit theory there, and there is a lot of different smart guys which are already being presented today. So then we go to the product layer, which is very understandable. This is the technology, this is how to use, this is what inside. And the last layer is the vision. So united people of the world and one love, one world. So here are some key topics. And here you can explore what we already collected as a subtopics of a product of the content we're gonna make. So there are 2 key reasons why people basically are looking for content. It's either to find knowledge or emotions. And there are 6 sub-reasons, we believe. It's FOMO, hope, and curiosity under the knowledge. and anger, surprise, and humor under the emotions. So if you want to entertain yourself, or rather you want to find any useful information, and we should check all these emotions and find what works well. So, for instance, it's a humor, how to explain Gonka tokenomics at a party. So, as I said, we divide it into two main streams, and here you can take a look at the examples: why compute is a new currency, how Gonka dramatically cut AI compute expenses worldwide, and so on. So this is our collaboration circle, as far as it's a strong mission-driven storytelling behind Gonka and the transparency, which is like which brothers and other community members shows. We believe that it's going to be easy to achieve such collaborations. I mean, it always depends on the content we produce ourselves, because if we produce good type of content, not a slop, those smart guys will be we believe will be ready to collaborate. So what we see as a goal is the community organic growth, and we split the community growth into 4 stages. The first one is tribe of 100. So today I see here 33. So I believe we are here, but maybe not, maybe less. So and our goal right now is to move from one part to the second one, and to do so, we should prepare our onboarding pack, content pack, and the collaboration pack, and to move focus from founders to idea and to other community members. So, and then I believe we're gonna go to ambassadors and collaboration when we are ready, when we have this pack ready, and then governance and culture management. So I'm gonna repeat it once again. Quality over quantity at this particular period is a must, because we should be proud of what we share with our friends, with our circles. So let's work well. And this is an engagement process. This is a just logic behind the engagement process itself. Why first? Why goes first? And this is a instinct function of the brain. So why it is so important? Why we should care about this? Then we form the trust in the it's explainers, and this is the emotional layer when we gain the trust. And then we go to what? And this is a very rational layer. And I believe it's going to be easy to, you can check it by yourself if you want, just deep dive. But if we have the same logic applied to classic marketing funnel, so there are shorts at the very top of the funnel, then explainers and community series. It is how, yes, and then what? It's interviews and live sessions. Of course, every type of content is a combination of why, how, and what. But what is the very bottom of the funnel, and most people who are here today, they check the interview of Lieberman brothers, and that's why they are here. And our goal to make it different, to achieve a broader audience by providing them with a short formats, of course. So this is the 5 content formats that we can produce, and this is first, look on the quantity, which is not a lot, as I said, because we want to produce quality. And there are some references, and we are mainly focused. We are mainly focused on Vox media format, And here are our own examples of community series, which helped us a lot in our ophthalmology business. You can check this out. And this is 1 year volume. So again, this is we have divided it into 4 parts, and this starts with philosophical layer and goes to practical layer. So first 3 months, we're going to produce mostly why content, why it's the decentralized AI is so important, why compute is a new energy, why nations should care about this centralization of AI. Then we're going to go to how. This is chapter 2. We know how to react. This is still a philosophical layer. And then we go again to the how, but it's already more technical. And then we go to what, which is absolutely specific layer. And we believe that at the moment we are not ready for this particular type of content, since the product and the technology is not like is not ready for a broad audience. This is the same volume, and it's divided into 2 parts. This is the core content and supportive. And here are 6 emotions that I already listed before, and this gonna help us to reach out broader audience and to catch different audiences by using different emotions. And these shorts should bring more audience to this core content. Here we see community series as a core community content. So it's the stories of founders, of investors, of the hosts, of active community members, of advisory, of all those people who support the idea. So every month, of course, live sessions update network stats and all the stuff. And then you see the vision is slightly moving from vision to technology. So we're gonna go from, as I said before, from philosophical level to practical. So that's about the pricing. We fixed exchange rate like this, and was on the 11th. And we believe that Gonka gonna grow, and we're gonna definitely help it to grow by providing a strong and experienced storytelling. And this is our expenses. So usually in shorts, we use 5 people, and it takes us we can provide 3 to 5 shorts a week. And as I said, this is a supportive type of content. Then we go to explainer. Explainer is from 7 to 10 minutes length, which is quite long. And there are already 6 people there, because we need to manage 8 more. So we need a project management here. And you see the split of expenses on this particular type of content. So community series more or less the same, but we need more communication, we need more calls, we need more time to produce it, and it's a little bit more expensive. So, and this is overall testing period expenses, and we still should we should discuss what kind of interviews should we take, and depending on what we choose, the price will be will be put and explained. And that's how we believe the process look like. So it's going to be easier and easier every next month, because we're going to have our visual style developed, and we're going to have our pipelines developed. So we believe that we will be able to cut the price later on when our processes are set up. And the last part, we have already created a visual style, which is like the first one. Of course, we're gonna iterate it, but the idea is easy. We believe that we shouldn't look like a regular blockchain company or like, you know, deep tech company, because people are a bit tired of this cyberpunk, and we believe that we should be like an island of you know, safety, and we shouldn't scare people, and we shouldn't look like a cyborgs at this particular communication, because we believe that it's going to bring us more attention from the audience. Here you can check out our reels, which we made just to try, so you can feel it. And this is a story which we have already started to I'll say to collect. So this is how we started to deep dive into Gonka. So Vasily found interview in October. In November, we tried mining. In December, we wrote a script, and we engaged my dev for the research. And then we created a gift for the community. And then we sent the message to the brothers directly. And then we entered the community and started to getting to know people. So connected to Zimyang, Adji, and Victor. And also we have engaged Vlad Saiwan, who is now at call with us. So then we made those 3 videos, which I definitely suggest you to check out. So we produced several welcome videos, which I definitely suggest you to check out. We created this mirror board. Now we started to prepare flagmanship video about the community. So you probably recognize this guy. And no, this is a partly Kimberbach, partly Lieberman. So and now we are here at the AMA session. And that's what we see as a roadmap. So we're going to grow internal creative community. We're going to launch UGC stimulation, I believe. So we're going to study use cases and create stories around how people use Gonka. And of course, we should like instantly grow the ambassadors base of those who support and who love Gonka like we do. And we, of course, going to be ready to start collaborations. So I believe in August, when all this qualified content will be at our like social networks. So, and then we believe that growing this storytelling will get us to like Netflix series, because what we do here is the epic shit, I think. And I think that it's interesting to take a look. And there are different types of content that we can produce, from documentaries to like featured films and series. And the last one, this is this is the plan, and this is the reality. So yeah, we understand it because we are, as I said, experienced entrepreneurs, and we know how to do stuff, and we know that like planning is good, but you should always fight against some some unexpected shit. So okay, hopefully you are with me, and if you have any questions, please.
It's about time to wrap up. We can have 1 or 2 questions. I see there's one question in the chat about distribution. I think you probably answered that one, but yeah. If there are any more questions, also feel free to raise a hand or type your question in the chat.
Yeah. Look, regarding the distribution, as you remember, I noted that we've got 3 main, or like key skills, and the distribution is what we are going to grow. And we've got a couple of partners who can help with us. And we believe that if we find a way to how to work with sole publishing, it's going to be bingo, because this is their piece of cake, and they know how to do it well, and we know how to do like engaging content. So hopefully I answered this question, but we're gonna go further, and we're gonna if our proposal gonna be approved, we will not, stop at the content, because even before the proposal was made, we spent 3 months preparing all the stuff, and we just don't wait usually. We do things. Yes, happy to answer. You got a question?
Yeah. No, so
Okay.
to be sure, you introduced a group of people at the beginning. By the way, great team. But do we talk about introducing and promoting Gonka on all these YouTube channels and other related sources you introduced at the beginning?
So it's a point to discuss, because we definitely can negotiate it. But I believe that for the moment, our key goal is to grow this over Russian-speaking audience, and I believe we're gonna find more English-speaking collaborators, but definitely can negotiate promotion on these particular channels. And basically, we have written about this already to the core team. So yes, we definitely will use this opportunity.
Yeah,
And
I
one
can
more
jump in
question
about
there
like
is-
the core team remark. It's actually not something that any particular team can decide on. So if you're asking for support from the community, please share more details publicly with everybody.
Yeah. So, and I see the question was already raised. The community, if you want, as long as the product risk staying in its circle. Well, we believe that many people originally from Russia already made success in global with global audiences, and we believe that we can handle it, and it's becoming more and more easier, as you can see around, because everything is translated automatically, and everything is more and more global. So we definitely will find the support in different, like in the US maybe, because we have a broad network, and it's not that hard to find those people who understand more, and I mean in a local market, but we can manage these processes. So I hope I have answered your question. Okay.
And yeah, I think we're at
The goal is
time,
much broader audience than just a second. The goal is much broader than just Russian speaking, so the key value of such creators and SK team spread is about engaging and self-efficient content that promotes itself by social media platform algorithms. This is, by the way, Vlad, who has more than 1 million subscribers, so he's been creating content for 11 years, and he knows what he says. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, now it's really time to wrap up. If anybody present on this call or watching this in the recording has questions, please follow up. And this none of these presentations is not an end of a discussion, is something to to continue to try to test, to ask more questions, refine, and possibly spin off new different proposals and new different projects. Huge thanks to the teams who joined us today with the presentations, to Gonka Labs, to Inc4, and to Saccade teams. And yes, let's continue these discussions and stay tuned, participate on Discord and in GitHub.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for the call.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Good rest of your
Bye-bye.
day.
Thank you, guys.
Night.
Yes.
Have a good day.